I can hear the AC still. Did you turn it off?
Yeah, it's off,
Oh,
bro.
I'm hearing something else then.
Yeah.
Streets and Scholars, Alex Alonso and FG, here to bring you guys another banger. And it's nice and warm in Southern California. To everybody
Oh,
living in them cold weathers,
no
um,
doubt.
don't be too jealous, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely beach weather right now. So, man, my daughter been living at the beach lately. Why until they go back to school, go back to college, man? They've been living at the beach, but it's definitely beach weather.
Well, my kids actually grew up on the beach. They went to school in Venice. They went to Venice High School. Now I
Oh,
can
okay,
say
yeah.
I've never said that my kids went to Venice High School until now. This is the first
Right,
time I've
right,
ever
right,
said it.
right.
And the reason why I'm saying it now is because they all
Because
graduated. They
they
don't
don't
go
go
there no
there.
more.
No doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt, no doubt.
I didn't ever want to put where my kids went to school at because you never know with these crazy fools out here on the internet. But yeah, my kids
Oh,
went to
no doubt.
Venice. A lot of people think Venice is glamorous that don't live here in Venice. A lot of my kids' family that they thought like, wow, your high school is actually on the beach, and it's like, nah, it's not on the beach. It's a couple miles inland. But anything associated with Venice gives it that beach, that beach imagery.
No, no doubt, no doubt. We grew up in Venice. You know what I mean? Santa Monica. We used to ride our bikes from Venice to Santa Monica. That was a nice little ride back then. Probably still is. But so we grew up doing that. But to be honest with you, Alex, I ain't been to Venice Beach in years, bro. I mean, years. I don't even go there no more.
Yeah, I remember back in the days, if you wanted to go up to Venice Beach, just be prepared to cross paths with the Venice show lines. They might
Oh,
be
no
there.
doubt. Yeah, yeah. You run into them, you know what I mean? And then don't not to mention, back in the lowrider days, when you leave Crenshaw, you go hit Venice Beach for a minute. But back then, yeah, you definitely had to watch them show lines, man. That was a turf right there.
Man, that's crazy. They had a turf that was probably infiltrated by more people than any other hood in LA in the whole county because it's also a tourist attraction, but their hood is right there. So they must have had a lot of skirmishes with various hoods over the years.
No doubt, because we all went there. I mean, everybody went there. And I'm sure every set, every neighborhood, everything, has been there. But at the same time, I'm sure they had to give a little leeway just being that you do have a major tourist attraction in your neighborhood. So, sometimes it's a give and take.
Hey, I was on the boardwalk one day and there was an actual shooting on the boardwalk. And I'm not sure if it was the show lines, but this dude ended up getting into it. I think the dude got into it with some shorelines, and the dude's girlfriend pulled out a strap from her purse and started busting on the dudes that was getting with her boyfriend. And, that. I think Venice Shoreline has seen its fair share of shootings, fightings, conflict, and all of that. But I was actually present one time where the chick pulled out the gun and started busting.
Yeah, no doubt. To be honest with you, Alex, we done had a couple get downs up there, many years ago, but it was never with the shorelines. It was always bumping into somebody else. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but like I say, even before that, as a kid, our parents used to take us there, man. Had picnics, and back then we got in the beach water and we did it all back then, man. So, it is nice, man, when you could drive 20 minutes to the beach, and get it in like that. It was years later that I didn't realize that they didn't have beaches in Ohio and they didn't have beaches in Indiana. I thought everybody had a beach, you know what I mean? Until but yeah, we are fortunate on that end.
Yeah, we got some pretty cool beaches, man. I'm surprised you ain't been up there in a minute. Shoot, let me think. The last time I was at Venice Beach was probably last summer. I don't even think there's been a summer that's passed where I didn't go up there once or twice because my kids like to skate up there. They got a skate park.
Yeah.
I used to even work out at the pit back in the
Oh, is
day.
that right? Man, you wasn't strong enough to get in there with them dudes, man. Them dudes was in there like Hulks, man. Them dudes was swole up in that thing. It was
Hey, I was hitting that 315 back in the 90s. And all you got to do is hit it once and you get
Hey,
respected.
hey, you get up in there, yeah, no doubt. Nah, but we used to go watch the Hoopers too. Don't forget, them dudes was really balling out there. Them dudes was dunking, homie. Them dudes was really getting it in. You had to be a real athlete to get out there on that court. So Venice Beach was a spectacular thing. Don't get me wrong. Some of the best was there. You'll bump into, like you say, celebrity stars and everybody. Venice Beach was a major attraction. I have been right down the street to Dockweiler as early as 2 weeks ago, but just Venice Beach itself, how they used to have the setups out there, the stands, you buying stuff. And, no, I haven't been down there in a minute, man, but at the same time, it's definitely still an attraction, Venice, Santa Monica. And, it's just the West Coast major event over there.
Hey, that's actually where I met my wife. I met my wife at Venice Beach.
Oh, okay, man. That's what's
I,
up.
I was in the pit.
Never knew that.
I was literally in the pit hitting my weights
Mm-hmm.
like I did every weekend. And then of course we would stand up and just look at the crowd and just show off with our shirts off. And I seen her walking through with a bunch of her cousins they were like 10 deep. And I saw her walking through and I was like, I want that one right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked out the pit, followed her, and just let her know what it was. And before I was gonna say, and next thing you knew, I was married. We were married for about another 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I dated her literally 9 years on and off. But yeah, we met at Venice Beach, so I guess
Man, that's what's up, man.
it's a special spot. Also, I just thought
What
about that.
Oh, definitely, But the honeys was out there, back in the, I mean, we wasn't going there just to, buy no trinkets from the stands, man. You go to Venice Beach, you had on your best shoes, you had on your nice shirts, you had on your fresh glasses, you know what I mean? So, definitely the honeys was out there and everything from mini skirts to little booty shorts and everything else, man. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean? You had college students out there and everything. So back when we was kids, 18, 19 years old, man, I'm talking about older. Well, I had a car 16. So, we hit Venice Beach 17 years old, you know what I mean? Lying talking about we 20 to the older college females and shit. We did it all at Venice Beach, man. If you from LA, if you from anywhere, in the LA area, man, if you didn't have no memories on Venice Beach, I don't know what you was doing. I don't know what you was doing, bro.
Yeah, it's a must. It's a must to location to hit. I mean, I used to hit it every weekend. And then my nephew was out here visiting, and they went up to Venice Beach to show him, and he always goes up to Venice Beach when he comes to visit us. But yeah, man, it's that beach weather. Hey, how did Dockweiler become? I've been hearing about Dockweiler for years, and it always seemed like when there was a black event going on, they always picked Dockweiler. How did Dockweiler become the go-to for black events here in LA?
You know what? I'm almost thinking that probably was the only spot that the parking area was big enough and that they can get a day permit for that spot. I'm almost thinking the city said, okay, they're going to come. Let's give them a designated area because it seems like it's always Dockweiler. One thing about it is easy to get to and it is easy to, and it's kind of to blocked in the way they got it. To be honest with you, just say if something did happen at Dockweiler, which sometimes it do, they can really shut that thing down instantly because it's one way in and one way out. If you're in a car or on a bike or something like that, so they probably feel, that's where they got them pinned in if something, kind of was to happen. But at the same time, I believe it's the only spot that's going to give you a permit to, for us to go down there and set up the food trucks, hang out with the low riders, the bikes, give events because, they definitely going to keep you from down in the Newport area. They definitely going to keep you from down in the Santa Monica area, wilding out like they let us do at Dockweiler. So, that's probably how it just became the spot,
Yeah, it's definitely the go-to spot whenever there's an event. All right, man. I wanted to address a question that was sent into us on. I believe the question was sent into us on Instagram, and yeah, go tap in with our Instagram page. It's Street and Scholars, street.and.scholars, and there was a really interesting question that came in, and I wanted to shout out the person that sent it. I'm gonna have to find that in a moment. But the question was, and it was mostly to you, FG, because of your knowledge and experience of the federal system. But the question was, can you talk about Bleu Davinci, aka Barima McKnight? Because Jay Diggs was mentioned something that he was involved in a safety valve. What does safety valve mean in the federal system? And if you guys are familiar with Jay Diggs, he just did a diss song against Whack 100, and he had a bar in there saying something about Bleu Davinci told, and I guess Jay Diggs is referring to something that's called a safety valve. I've never heard of a safety valve, but what does that mean in the federal sentencing guidelines?
I've heard of safety valve, and I think everybody in the feds heard of a safety valve. And the reason we heard of it because we never knew nobody who actually had one. you know. So back then in the federal system, we was trying to do all our due diligence on all the federal laws and statutes just based on any time somebody come through with something. We wanted to make sure that, you know, we knew what the rule was or the law was pertaining to it, you know what I mean? So we know how to handle business or not, you know. But I never knew nobody that was eligible for a safety valve, Alex, but what it was, if you had minimal, and I mean very, very minimal criminal history, like you could only have either less than 3 or 4 criminal history points in order to be eligible. That's for one. So you had to have damn near no criminal history, because a lot of people don't understand in the federal federal guidelines, when they get to talking about criminal history points, you could have a ticket and it could be considered as one criminal history point, you know. So you know, you damn near had to have a squeaky clean record in order to get one. What they try to say that the safety valve is you do have to basically make a statement on what happened in that case. In one way, they're gonna say it's not snitching and it's not telling and it's not informing. But if you read the structure of it, you do have to basically debrief on exactly what happened in the situation you was in. Now, if you got a co-defendant and you try to get a safety valve, you have to tell exactly what you and your co-defendant did. Now, if you got a fraud case and you trying to get a safety valve, which, let me be clear, safety valve is you can only get a safety valve for certain cases anyway. So say if your case only carry 2 or 3 years, you're not eligible anyway. It have to be a substantial amount of time that you're facing. So if you get a safety valve and you basically tell on what you did as far as the situation, you debrief on everything you did. You know, most of the time we commit a crime, it's either with somebody or against somebody. So you have to tell all this what happened. The homies do believe that a safety valve, you debriefed, you gave up a certain amount of information, because the information that you given up needs to be useful to the government, whether they use it or not. It needs to be useful and substantial to them in order for them to grant you that safety valve. So at the end of the day, we did always call it telling. I don't know Bleu Davinci situation. I don't know if he had co-defendants. I don't know. The only way I could see a safety valve working is if you commit a crime by yourself, you're the only one on the case, and you basically debrief and tell exactly what you did and who else was involved, and only people other can have been involved that was acceptable to me is the victims. So if you were able to do that, then maybe the safety valve worked out. But at the same time, I did know Bleu Davinci. Bleu Davinci did a proffer statement as well, if I ain't mistaken. You know what I mean? You know, so when you do that a proffer statement, Alex, you know, speaking specifically of Bleu Davinci, you know, you debriefing anyway and giving up a whole lot. You making statements. You know what I mean? So Bleu Davinci's situation is different. So did Bleu Davinci get a safety valve? Is that what J Diggs saying?
Yeah, that's what J Diggs is saying, and also a few other people. There's even an author named Mara Shalloup who wrote a book about BMF, and she talked about the cooperation of Bleu Davinci. But I want to read with this paragraph from this lawyer's website called lawbayback.com. He has this whole entry on what exactly a safety valve is. And in this paragraph here, he says, it is generally safe to engage in a safety valve debrief. Many inmates mistakenly believe that the safety valve debriefing is snitching or informing. Debriefing rarely results in any new arrest, but only serves to inform the government of what really occurred in the offense, and also serves as a kind of penance for an individual charged with a drug crime being completely honest with the prosecutor about what really occurred. And that part right there is kind of it seems like this paragraph is a little bit contradictory, because the attorney in here is saying that it's not necessarily snitching or informing, but you have to tell the government everything that happened. So how is it not snitching or informing if you have to tell the government everything that happened? And if you have co-defendants, you got to tell everything that you know of the co-defendants. So I think this attorney is trying to have it both ways in the way he wrote this here in this paragraph, FG.
No doubt, but at the same time, like I said, it seemed like the only way it could be acceptable if you was just pulled over with some drugs and you were caught, you were arrested, you know, and you went to, you know, file for a safety valve. You didn't have no criminal history, you know, or very minimal, and you went and told them everything you did, you know, and you I don't see them granting it that way, because I'm almost thinking that in order to have a safety valve, bro, you got to give them something. You know, most of the time it's not nothing about you, because they already know what they know about you. They know they got you with the drugs. They know they wants to know where you got them from, who helped you get them, who helped you acquire them, who were you going to sell them to. See, they not telling you all this part. You know what I mean? So me personally, I believe the safety valve, man, is a setup, you know, for you to make statements, or you know, and once you start making statements, that's when the telling and the snitching come in.
Yeah, there's this author I mentioned named Mara Shalloup. She wrote a book about this, and I want to read a part of something that she wrote regarding what Bleu Davinci did. She says here, and she says here, and this is from her website. Her website is called creativeloafing.com. She says here that Bleu Davinci received a 5-year, 4-month sentence, less than the government's recommendation, due in part to the fact that he agreed to share information with authorities. But that information turned out to not be useful. However, because the government had already built most of its case against BMF, Bleu Davinci also was not willing to testify against other defendants. And this is a quote from his attorney, according to Mara Shalloup. His attorney says he would have liked to have cooperated if he could have. David McCusick says, but he didn't have any useful information. So that comes directly from Mara Shalloup, who wrote the book on the BMF and who covered this case. It sounds like borderline snitching to me. What do you say?
I mean, it ain't borderline. You know what I mean? If he gave up any information pertaining to the gang outside of just pleading to his plea agreement, you know, now let me be clear. When you take a plea agreement, you know, the plea agreement in it is going to say, do you admit to these charges? Charges going to be, did you willfully sell cocaine to whoever you sold it to, whether it's an agent or whatever? Did you sell cocaine to? Did you commit the crime? Basically, that's what it's saying. Now, if you have a co-defendant, you know what I mean? You have to go to your co-defendant and say, bro, listen, they got a deal on the table. We both, in order to take the plea agreement, they're going to sit up there and say, we willfully sold some cocaine to an agent. You know what I mean? And hey, homie, are we going to take this deal? If my co-defendant say, no, I ain't going to take the deal, then I can't take the deal, because I'm not going to admit to selling to an agent based on, because my co-defendant want to fight his case however you want to fight it, you know, even if it's in my best interest to take the plea, you know. So now with that being said, that happens all the time when people take a plea agreement. Now, when you get to talk about proffer statements and safety valves, information need to be given outside of the information pertaining to what's going on with your case. That's the part that they not telling you. You know what I mean? That's the part that they not putting out there. You know, they know exactly what you did. They don't want to know exactly what you did. They want to know the extra stuff. You know what I mean? And those questions are coming, you know, in that part that where it keeps saying, you know, you have to be willingly and truthfully about everything. And they asking you all kind of stuff. And that's what people that's taking these these safety valves and making these proper statements not understanding, bro. You making a statement, you know what I mean, about the crime. You know, when you either just take your deal and plead guilty and leave it at that. They know what you did already. So to me, I don't believe in the safety valve, you know, especially when these dudes are going to jail with more cocaine than a little bit, you know what I mean? You know, I don't understand it, you know, but I can't honestly say that I don't know nobody personally who've ever had a safety valve for me to personally just ask them to break it down. But from what I done read about it, and I done read many reviews on it, you know what I mean, that safety valve is basically providing information for a lower sentence.
But it's according to all accounts of whatever he provided to the government, it was not useful, and it was information that they already had. What if let me just play the other side? What if the Bleu Davinci says, "Okay, I'll cooperate with you guys and do the safety valve debrief," but he already knows everything they know, and he already knows what he's going to say, and he's not going to add anything to what the government already knows. And then at the end of the day, it turns out his debrief did not lead to any new arrest, to any new information. If that is the case, do you still put him in that same category?
I mean, you don't make statements, Alex. You know what I mean? You don't tell them nothing. You know what I mean? When it's time to take a 10, 20-year deal, you're going to plead guilty to what they say you did. You know what I mean? You're not going to add no statements to it. You know what I mean? You're not going to give them no information at all. You know what I mean? That's just the real, man. I ain't no thin line between motherfuckers. Now, like I said, I don't know Bleu Davinci or his situation. You know, I'm going by what you telling me at this moment. But at the same time, man, I don't give a fuck who you is. You don't go in there and make no statements about nothing. You know what I mean? You go in there telling people your name and you know your address if need be. You know your baby mama number so somebody can call and that little stuff like that. But at the same time, man, you don't go in there and you don't talk on nothing about the crime itself. You know what I mean? Especially when you're working with the feds. You ain't going in there to fight them. You going in there to see what the best deal you can get. Ain't no fighting them. They done already got you. They got their case sold up. You know, it is a few people that have beat the feds. It's rare. You know what I mean? But for the most part, in a lot of these drug investigations, bro, they got so much on you. I mean, what is there to fight? So in order for you to, you know, the amount of drugs that these dudes had in their case, man, most of them cases, you know, them 841s, US 21 USC 841 drug cases, they had a 10-year to life. You know what I mean? All of them. They had a 10-year to life, bro. You know what I mean? I don't care. My first drug case ever. I only have one in my life. It was a 10 to life. You know what I mean? And I got convicted on 98.8 grams. You know what I mean? These people wasn't playing, Alex. You know what I mean? So any kind of statement you make, I'm not fine with. Why are you making a statement? You know what I mean? So if you asking me what I believe snitching is making a statement. You know what I mean? On anything got to do with your case other than, you know, what you did and what only you did and not mentioning anybody else.
Well, he received a 5-year, 4-month sentence, which was on the lower end, which kind of suggests that maybe that was the deal that he accepted for whatever exchange of information he gave. He ends up doing just less than 4 years. I believe 3 years, 11 months. He went in 2008, came out in 2011. Ironically, these are the same years you were in there. I'm assuming he did not go to Victorville. He went to a low also. So he went to a low and he did from 2008 to 2011 on a 5-year, 4-month sentence. Does any of that kind of stand out?
No, because let me back up and be clear. Because you had two kind of drug statutory minimums. You got a 10 to life and you got a 5 to 40. Just say nowadays with laws as they are right now, you get caught with 5 birds or more, it's a 10 to life. You get caught with 4.5 birds, Alex, it's 5 to 40. You know what I mean? So like I say, I'm not familiar with Bleu Davinci case, but let me be clear, you know, that they do have a 5 to 40 if he only got, say, caught with 4 birds or something like that. That's now. Back then it was different. So say you get caught with 4 birds, yeah, you don't have a criminal history record, yeah, you can get, it's 5 to 40. So say if the judge did give him 5 years, 4 months, he gave him more than the mandatory minimum. So that's perfectly fine. You know, I'm not questioning the sentence because I don't know his case. I'm questioning what you said about the safety valve. You know, you have to debrief on something. You have to give them something in order to receive the safety valve. Now, I'm not clear if you saying he tried to get the safety valve, but the information that he gave wasn't enough to qualify because they already knew that. Now, if that's the case, then that's a whole different separate situation. You know what I mean? He didn't give him no information outside of probably what he did or something like that. And they said, okay, that's not enough. You know, so maybe he didn't qualify. So they gave him the 5-year, 4 months, which was I don't know how much drugs he was convicted of. So you do have a 5 to 40 for the dude for under a certain amount of drugs. You do have a 10 to life. I happen to have a 10 to life. The judge couldn't go under 10 years. If he had a 5 to 40 in his case, due to the amount of drugs that he was convicted of, the judge could have gave him anywhere from 5 to 40 years and chose to give him 5 years, 4 months. So it don't strike a bell or it don't add up. But when you went back and specifically said something about a safety valve, you know, like I say, I also heard that Bleu Davinci made a proper statement. You know, when you do that proper statement, Alex, you tell shit, you know, straight up, you know. So when you talk about those two, you know, yeah, those that's making statements, and to me that ain't cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. He made the statement. It's documented in Mara Shalloup book. And the name of her book, by the way, is called The Rise and Fall of Big Meech. It was published in 2010. And she has a whole little section in that book about it, man. All right, man. I think we should transition into what's going on YouTube in the last. I mean, I think YouTube has gotten real messy in 2023 for Southern California, for Los Angeles County content creators. There seems to be this now move to go back and forth with each other now, and to pick conflicts, and then to just publicize the conflict and talk about it on a public stage, where back in the day you just pick up the phone and figure out a way to deal with this behind the scenes. But for some reason, shit is being done in front of the scenes, and it's not only with the youngsters. It could be some older cats too that are on YouTube doing content creation. We're on a really nasty path, FG. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Well, the path that we on, Alex, is more or less like this, and let me be clear. Back in the day, everybody wasn't on. When you started on YouTube, you was the only one on there, bro. You and maybe somebody else. You know what I mean? What no FGs, what no whole bunch of everybody else, bro. They done made it, or y'all done taught us how to easily access YouTube and be able to, have a platform, be able to have a voice, or be able to create content. The problem with it is once the game got saturated, back in the day, Alex, you was one of the only ones to listen to. So when you drop a video, bro, you did 100,000 in a day. You know what I mean? 2 and 3, 400, 600,000 view videos because you were the only dude doing it. And other guys came along that was successful with it, so, but when it got saturated, because I'm one of the later dudes that came on, years and years, I mean, many, many years later. So now that everybody with a smartphone can, make a YouTube account, make content, it made it saturated. So why are we just going to listen to Alex Alonso? Why are we just going to listen to Kev Mack? Why are we just going to listen to certain dudes, when we can go to any damn fool with a phone can make a YouTube page. So by the game being saturated, what happens is, Alex, you have to have something wow nowadays in order for people to click on. You know what I mean? And that's what the problem is. So being that everybody wants some views, they get more wilder and more wilder with their content. With that content, people want to see people bickering and arguing and fighting. They want to see the beef between, this person and that person. And but at the same time, we all here in LA, homie. We all here in Compton, Wise, Linwood, Long Beach. That's too close, homie. And it's causing beefs, for views. Motherfuckers is beefing for views nowadays. You know what I mean? When you write, the motherfucker can't pick up the phone and get in touch with me or get in touch with anybody. We all can touch bases with anybody. Everybody got somebody number. So yeah, it is getting raggedy. It is getting sloppy. And at the same time, I would encourage the dudes. Like I said, I can't never tell a dude what to do on this channel. But I encourage dudes, man, that bullshit with each other on YouTube, especially on the West Coast. You know what I mean? That shit going to have to come to, fuck them views. It's going to come to back to reality, homie, when G's was just G's, homie. And a lot of the beefs or a lot of the bickering or a lot of the arguments or disrespect to other motherfuckers wasn't on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, we have a track record of a bunch of content creators in the last 2 years that have actually been shot and killed. There was a SA dude named Savage Studios that decided to do an anti this dude decided to do an anti-Mexican mafia video.
Damn.
And he went in hard. I can understand you might not agree with a criminal organization, but this was a former Southsider just disrespecting. And when I saw that video, I was like, his days are numbered, because I believe anybody can get touched. Anyone could be found. And if you got 5 or 6 dudes that are sent to you, you better have a few AR-15s in your safe if you're going to fight that off. And dude came up dead at a tattoo shop. I believe that was in 2022. And we're going to see a lot more of this stuff like this. It hasn't gotten, I'm trying to think, has it gotten, actually it has gotten a little crazy on the Blood and Crip side over the past several years. And yeah, I remember a time where I would go on YouTube. I want to say I was the algorithm, and everything that
no doubt,
everything related to this content was like a spinoff of what I was doing. And I used to encourage other people, hey, you should do a channel. Hey, you should do a video, or you should start a platform. I remember going down into San Diego. I used to go to San Diego and do content all the time. And I told one of the brothers down there, Hoodie Hood, I'm like, you should be the San Diego content creator for the streets. You know, why do I have to come to LA to tell y'all a story? So I've always encouraged people to start channels and to start their own platforms, but I never thought it was going to get to something to where person A doesn't like what person B said on the video, and now it's a back and forth between these two content creators. I never thought gangsters from the streets would start arguing on the internet. Makes no sense.
No, it ain't about making sense, you know what I mean? But like I say, you know, the word is content, you know, and some people do certain things for that, Alex. You know what I mean? You have to understand that, like you say, some people like me personally, you know what I mean? We from the east, I'm from the east side over there, you know what I mean? And I've always been a staple over there, you know, through parties, you know, the homies always knew me, you know, always was around, you know, and I didn't need more than that. You know what I mean? You know, but at the same time, like I say, you know, anybody with a phone, pick up a phone, make some content, you know, or pick up a phone and steal somebody else's content and run it and make a few dollars off of it. You know what I mean? So, but the beef part, you know, a lot of it comes with what comes out of the next man's mouth too, though, Alex. You got to realize that we are responsible for what we say. You know what I mean? And we both and anybody else can easily get on here and say some disrespectful shit. Next thing you know, we in a beef, you know, because of something we said to try to get some views. You know what I mean? So, you know, people gotta, you know, like I say, keep their content. I mean, I can't tell nobody how to keep their content, but if they keep it authentic, man, they, you know, everybody will be all right. But when you got a problem with somebody, or you got a problem with, like, if I got a problem with somebody said, I know how to get in touch with them. I don't come to YouTube and just, you know, really air them out like that. You know what I mean? If it's a simple problem, I'll get on the phone with them and holler at them. But then again, you know, we all human. You know, I've reacted to shit on YouTube. You know, I reacted to shit somebody said about me. You know, so I'm not totally not in the same kind of situation. I've been there. You know, I get it, but I try my best. You know, to try to keep my shit, you know, legit and clean. You know what I mean?
Well, I had a handful of people do some ridiculous, idiotic, dumb videos on me over the last decade. And I would say every single time I've either ignored it because it wasn't even worth my time, or I called that person up directly and like, hey, what's happening? Why do you feel the need to talk about me? You could have just picked up the phone and called me. The only time I think I've responded was when Vlad decided to have Mob James on that interview lying, and I think that's probably one of the very few times I've ever responded to something. But yeah, most of the time I ignore it, or I just call the person directly, and all of us can. There's not one person from our area that can't call someone else, even if we don't got their number. We know somebody that knows them. We could easily just get on the phone and be like, yo, bro, what's going on? And just end it like that. So that's what I want to see more of. In fact, I want to bring some of the content creators together at some point and just figure out, you know, what can we do? Because, you know, people was getting stabbed and shot and killed over YouTube, man.
Nah, no doubt. But at the same time, you know, is some people probably don't mean as much harm as they like might be saying, Alex. Some people might make content, bro, and just like you said, they making content. You know what I mean? Like I say, Alex, we've all been in the little YouTube beefs, you know what I mean, and things of that nature. And sometimes you know, you react to somebody speaking on you and saying something about you. You know what I mean? I don't know if you seen Reggie Wright new video this morning. You know what I mean? With me and Mob James' name in the title. You know what I mean? So the shit stay cracking. You know what I mean? You know, that was just this morning. I sent it. You know, 6 people sent it to me. I'm trying to sleep. You know. But I mean, you know, it's nothing. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, everybody gonna have their little opinions about certain shit. You know, we can all get on here and say some shit. You know, but for the most part, what we talk about, Alex, is the real violence, not shit talking. Shit talking is one thing, man. You know, even if it's a disagreeing shit talking. You know, but when it comes to, you know, I'm finna get my hood and we finna go to their hood and shit like that, man. You know, that's when this YouTube shit to get you getting a little too much, you know what I mean, as far as you know, turning content in the street shit, you know, but shit, that's how you know, that's how sometimes it go.
Yeah, Reggie Wright likes to do the little back and forth with pretty much everybody, but you know, Reggie Wright is in a different realm because one, he ain't from any of these hoods, and two, he's a former police officer, so he kind of can get away with some of the conflict and issues that that he creates. But I can tell you, there's a handful of people that I personally know that would love an opportunity to jump on his head, man. I'm
Well, you
like,
know Reggie gonna talk his
seriously.
shit, man. Yeah, that's what Reggie gonna talk his shit, man. You know what I mean? And you know, but that's his lane. That's what he do. You know, and there's other content creators out there that they talk big shit. That's what they do. You know what I mean? So I look, Alice, I don't knock nobody. You know, I do believe everybody have a channel. But when it come down to, you know, you already know this black on black thing, man, you know, over some YouTube shit, not over no street shit. Now, if it's already a beef somewhere, or somebody done did something behind the scenes and it just happened you on YouTube, that's one thing. But to start an entire street beef from YouTube, that's some bullshit right there. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know.
man. It's getting a little out of control, and I feel like if you solid and you from one of these areas, we shouldn't be talking negatively about you. But you know, if there's a target on your back, then hey, you're open season. Just like in a minute, we're gonna talk our shit about Keke Palmer. I'm almost
Oh
certain
yeah,
you got
yeah.
some shit to talk about her. But you know, but if you got an issue with somebody from the other side of town, why can't we just pick up the phone and just holler at the person?
No, you definitely can, but like I say, some of this shit don't be that serious. A lot of this shit be like, you know, it's content, Alex. Let me be honest with you. I can get on this thing all day long, man, to talk about some peace and you know some love and respect, homie, and I'm gonna get 14 views. You know what I mean? If I get on here and talk shit about Reggie Wright, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get 10,000. You know what I mean? So the thing about it is honest with you, man, that's just what people want to see. We guilty of it too, Alice. We click on the bullshit. You know what I mean? You know, we click on it and see what's going on, and we laugh on the inside, even if we didn't agree. We do that shit. You know what I mean? But we just talking about the real shit. People talking shit or people doing their thing on making content on YouTube and starting a street beef. You know, because you was trying to get some views. That's the part I'm saying. I ain't feeling that part. You know, if I generally got something against somebody, genuinely. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna um you know, keep bringing it up on YouTube to make the situation genuine. Now, if it's just something that I don't like, you know, I don't like the, you know, dude talking about he got the hottest low rider, but I think his car a piece of shit, or, you know, something like that is different, you know. But when you get to talking about, you know, something that can get a motherfucker head knocked off, you know what I mean? Like I say, me personally, I watch how I walk on that situation because I know I still know me. You know what I mean? You know, like I say, I ain't scared of nobody else. I'm scared of myself, homie, because I know what the fuck I feel on the inside and what I'm still capable of. So, you know what I mean? I got to watch me more than I got to watch the next person. And once you realize that about yourself, you know, you try to, you know, keep an eye on yourself then more than it is the next person. So, you know, I try to make sure I don't say shit to, you know, try, you know, specifically, you know, trip out on somebody because if it go that route, then I'm gonna be in the streets and, you know, that type of shit. So, you know, so it's just a matter of people trying not to create them wars from YouTube.
Yeah, you mentioned the new video that came out. I was unaware of it about
I knew you was.
With
Yeah, I knew you
Reggie.
didn't know nothing about it. Yeah, yeah.
You want to give us a brief rundown of
Nope, that's why I didn't even want to tell you. That's why I didn't even text it to you this morning and shit, because I
okay.
already know you. You was gonna look at you looking at it now, like
No,
what.
no, no.
It ain't nothing, bro. Yeah, it ain't nothing.
Hey,
Shit.
they
You
like
know,
they
Reggie
like.
being Reggie, shit.
Hey, well, you know what's crazy? I haven't seen the video, but I'm almost certain it's about the topic of you and Mob James. And we agreed in 2022, I believe that was in the summer somewhere, to not talk about it no more.
I know we ain't gonna do that today, Alex. So you know, it was content, man. He put it out there, man. He said what he felt, you know what I mean. And he didn't say shit about me. I can't sit here and say, you know, he really, you know, talk no shit about me and nothing like that. You know what I mean?
No, they never
And
do. They never
yeah,
do.
you know, so you know, people do send me that stuff, you know what I mean, and they don't even understand how, you know, I feel personally about a lot of this shit. I'm not get personal dude. I'm not a get mad dude. You know, even if I was, you know, to get out in the streets, get active with something, I don't get mad. You know, I don't carry it like that. You know, I'm not emotional dude like that. You know, but like I say, you know, it's content like that don't bother me. It wasn't no harm, no foul in it. You know, so but we talking about that content, Alex. That's you know, really, you know, getting you know, setting somebody, you know, or lying on somebody, you know, and causing some shit out in the street, you know.
Well, and also this kind of ties into you know, ODM Slim got into it with his hood, and they decided to DP him for whatever reasons. And I'm just a little concerned about what was the need to for them to post it. Why do we need to know about a DP that happened in their hood, about stuff behind the scenes? And what's crazy, we talked about a DP several episodes ago, and it was from the same hood. It was when C-Mac got DP'd. Now it's ODM Slim getting DP'd. Why are they putting this on the internet? Do we really need to see this? I know we're gonna click on it because we're interested, but I prefer it not to even be there to click on.
Well, it all depends on what ODM Slim did. You know, I've seen a bunch of clips going by. I've seen a bunch of people talk about it. I didn't tap on it to see what he actually did. You know, what he was in action. Was he really actually in violation? You know what I mean? Or was it somebody kind of, you know, just always wanted to get at him anyway and use this as a reason? You know, I don't know. You know, the thing about it is, one reason they could have put it out there was just to let people know, man, over in our hood, homie, ain't nobody bigger than the hood. So if you disrespect the hood, homie, you know what I mean, and people know about it out in the street, then the way we handle it is going to be put out there in the street too. You know, if you publicly humiliate the hood or disrespect the hood, when the hood disrespect you, you know, with the DP, you know, and I ain't gonna even say disrespect. Sometimes the homies just need to be tightened up because sometimes they forget. So I don't look at a DP as like you know, you just disrespecting the dude. Sometimes you just need to get touched up to understand and realize that what's really still going on. So if you disrespected somebody publicly, Alex, then the DP should be, you know, I mean, saying you got to show the actual fighting or nothing like that on the gram or on YouTube. But at the same time, you know, if the disrespect was public, then people publicly need to know that it was handled. You know what I mean? You know, they could have did that with words, but instead, man, you know, they wanted to put him out there. We got many videos of, you know, homies, you know, getting DP, but we ain't putting them on no gram and we ain't putting them on no YouTube. That's what we ain't gonna do.
Yeah, for sure. And ODM Slim, he spoke about what happened with the DP, and it really had to do with somebody else, another grown man that decided to do something that he decided to do, and they just put that on ODM because ODM brought the dude there. We talking about Dre 5. Y'all might know who Dre 5 is because I've interviewed him twice, I believe. Once like 5 years ago. Well, he brought Dre 5 to the hood to deal with one person, and then Dre 5, you know, did whatever he did, and ODM Slim got blamed for it basically. And I can tell someone said that DP looked faked. It's not fake. It's that the two dudes that had to do the DP, they didn't really want to do it because they didn't feel like it was DP worthy. But because
No doubt.
you know, but they did what they were supposed to do because it's chain of command, but they didn't feel like it was DP worthy. That's a decision that the higher ups over there decided to make. But I just didn't feel like, I feel like they could have just told that story and say, hey, this is what happened today without showing us the video. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you on that. You know, I agree with you on that. And at the same time, but like I say, I ain't fully aware of the violation, you know, but at the end of the day, if that's the homie, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't putting the homie on the gram, on YouTube, you know, getting disciplined because he made a mistake, unless it was some shit like he getting put all the way off the hood and you can't never come back over here ever in life. You know what I mean? I still wouldn't do it then, but at the same time, I could see him doing it in that situation. But if you're just touching up the homie, man, because he made a mistake, you know, or if ODM Slim can sit up there and say, you know what, homie, I was wrong, or I did make a mistake, you know what I mean, and I got touched up a little bit because ain't nobody bigger than the set. You know what I mean? So a lot of people think they are, but in actuality, they not, you know. So when that time come home and you have to get disciplined, you know, like I said, I don't look at it as a disrespect. I looked at it, you made a mistake, homie, and you had to answer for it, you know. But if he's still the homie, if ODM still able to go to the hood, and when it was all said and done, somebody was like, homie, we love you, but you just messed up, homie, then that shit shouldn't have been on the net, homie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when Dolla Sign came to the neighborhood one day, and the homeboy from our hood named Po Boy decided to put hands on Dolla Sign. I just so happened to be rolling my camera when Po Boy put hands on Dolla Sign. I actually have the video of that, and I have never posted it because, and I don't even know Dolla Sign like that. He's a dude that was representing the same part of town where I grew up in, but I don't even know this dude personally. But I didn't feel comfortable with putting the video out of Dolla Sign getting hands put on by another homie because that's just not the way I get down. I know I had people calling me up every day. Hey, when you can put that video up? When you put that video
Man,
up?
shit, I'm surprised they would have bought it from you. Believe me, you could have
And
sold that. But
I
yeah,
just
no.
I don't feel good about posting stuff like that. And there was a couple of people said, "Oh, I know, Alex, you don't want to do it. Just give it to me. Just give it to me. I'll do it." But no, that footage is sitting in my safe, and you know, if I do a documentary, if there's some artistic reason to show it, hey, I'll show it, and I'll let some time pass. It's already been like, what was that? Maybe that was in the 2020, beginning of COVID. So I have that video for what, 3 years now, and I never posted it. But you know how quick people are to post stuff like that, man.
No doubt. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know, those are the people who, you know, don't understand, you know, now let me ask you this real fast. ODM, he good? I mean, he straight? He, you know,
Yeah, ODM is
he,
good.
okay.
I just got off the phone with him before we started this episode. I was trying to get him to come on, but he didn't really want to talk about it no more. He
Yeah,
already
yeah.
did the video. The video was on his channel. He did say though he's a little disappointed in the way people took his video and took what he said and spun it a little bit. They spun it. So I haven't had a chance to listen to what other people their reaction to ODM's video, but he said there's a lot of spinning going on, and if you want to know the truth, just go to his video and check it out. And if you tap in with Dre 5, I'm sure he'll give you his version. Dre 5 is he's accessible. But yeah, it had to do with Dre 5. It didn't really have anything to do with ODM did. The only thing he did was just bring Dre 5 to the hood. You know, Dre 5 is a grown man, and you know, if the higher ups felt like ODM was responsible, that's a decision that they made. That's some internal decision that I don't even think we can't even really speak on it because that's what they did. But no, he's
That's
good.
what they felt. Yeah.
He's good. And even the dudes that had to do the DP, man, they all good. Everybody's good. They didn't really want to do it, but they did what was asked of them to do. So that was that. But again, man, there's too much stuff that's being put on YouTube. I know right now the desire is to create as many views as possible because look, when I first got on YouTube, there was no AdSense. There was no, you got to check every month from the content. I literally was putting videos up on my channel because of the passion and the love I had for this art form, for one, filmmaking, and two, the streets. And then, of course, when Google bought it up, they structured in this AdSense plan. And then Google started to get controlling YouTube, and then everyone started to create platforms. And now that's what it's all about. And also the algorithm of Google constantly changes. The YouTube algorithm constantly changes. So what used to work for me before may not work for me today. You know, now they want you to do shorts. They need you to have thumbnails. They want you to do all these things now. And unless you're doing all these things, it's going to be more difficult to get caught up in the algorithm. And then also they prioritize new channels as well. So just because you're an old channel with 1 million subscribers doesn't mean you're still going to get the same views you used to get. So everything's changing. And I guess one of those things is that you got to be as salacious and as I guess as extreme as possible to get those views. And that's why we're seeing some of the things we're seeing on YouTube now.
No doubt, you know, but at the same time, like I say, when it come to LA, Compton, Wines, Linwood, Long Beach, man, you know, and I ain't trying to leave out Carson and Hawthorne and all the other surrounding cities, but you know what I mean, don't let this YouTube shit, man, you know, get you in something, man, that you can't handle, or, you know, get you in over your head, you know, for some crumbs, because it ain't worth it, homie.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody's got to be a little bit more responsible, a little bit more careful. Even on the Latino side, you know, on the Latino side, to keep it real, they don't have freedom of speech. They don't got
No, no
freedom of
doubt. You know,
speech.
I mean, I've seen a few people go on a couple platforms, you know, and get in trouble for it. You know what I mean? On that Latino side, you know what I mean? I seen a cat come on you know, channel of of our people, you know what I mean, and months later they were shot, you know what I mean. So they play a different game over there, so they have to be a different kind of careful, you know what I mean, but I say at the end of the day, no matter who you are, what you is, you know what I mean, whether it's from from New York to LA, man, don't let this content, you chasing, a penny, you know what I mean, get you caught up in something that's gonna end up in the street, you know what I mean, when you can't handle it, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and on the Latino side, I don't think there's one single Los Angeles South Sider that has a platform that is still active in his neighborhood. Most of the Latinos that are online have denounced their neighborhood, have disassociated themselves, or are dropouts, or have publicly made that announcement. Whereas people on the black side, they could still say, "Hey, this is what I am. I'll always be this. This is my hood." You hear Baby Gangsta say it all the time. I'm gonna be a Santana Block for the rest of my life. I'm just not with the violence anymore.
No
But
doubt.
it's gonna be Santana until the casket drops. You know. So it's a little different on the Latino side, and I know that some people are going to say, "Well, that's the way it's supposed to be because you're supposed to move in silence." But let me remind people: go back to the '60s, '70s, '80s, and early '90s. You've seen Mexicans giving interviews all the time. So, and the reason why they don't do it now is because of prison politics, not because of we want to move in silence. Because I can pull up interviews from the '80s and '90s, and they was always in front of the camera. But new rules came down. New rules came down the pipe, and they, for the most part, don't go online. But hey, that might change one day. We'll see. I would love to see
Yeah.
more Southsiders, at least just talking about stuff. But I already know what's going to come with that, because even some of
Right, right.
these Latinos are bickering with each other. The same shit we're talking about amongst Bloods, Crips, and Pyrus is happening with the essays as well.
No, no doubt, no doubt. But at the same time, they got their politics, Alex. You know what I mean? I can't knock with how they structure is, you know what I mean? So, hey, they gonna do what they gonna do, we gonna do what we gonna do. I'm just saying from our side, our people, you know what I mean? Once again, don't let this internet, write a check your ass can't cash, basically. You know what I mean? If you talking that shit, be ready if somebody, want to holler at you, that's what it is.
Yeah, man. I just hope everybody just comes to these platforms with a little bit more accountability, responsibility, carefulness, things of that sort. But I know you want to talk some shit, so let's talk some shit. And how can we not talk some shit about Miss Keke Palmer, man? She's pretty much been the most talked about female on the internet this last week, with the exception of hey, I never even knew about this chick named Sukiyana. But this chick Sukiyana posted a stupid video of her masturbating. I can't believe these chicks. She
I didn't
posted
see that one. Yeah.
yeah, she posted a video of her masturbating, and she squirted, and the squirt looked like brown, and people were just saying it looked like sewage water. And that
Damn.
video, I didn't even believe that Twitter allows pornography on their platforms, which I was
Yeah,
shocked.
I think if you put it in a comment or something like that, if you make it the main thing, I don't know, but maybe if you put it in a comment, I think you can get away with it over there on Twitter. But at
Yeah.
the same time, they said it looked like sewage water. That's crazy. But no, hey man, like you say, Keke been in the thing, but at the same time, listen, let's talk about the situation with her and Usher. You know what I mean? And are you aware of that situation, right?
What do you mean? When she showed up in her little scantily clad outfit while Usher was singing to her.
No doubt, ass cheeks out, you know what I mean, and bumping and grinding on him, and her boyfriend has something to say about it, you know what I mean, and then she replied with a video of her own, and whose side do you take on this? The boyfriend for saying something, or her for her actions, or what do we start with this? Well, I can go either from the top to the bottom with it, but where do we start with?
All right, first we're gonna start with the Usher video, because I know a lot of people seen the angle of the Usher video where she does a spin, and then you can see her whole body in the outfit. But I don't know if people saw this angle of the Usher video where it looks like Usher is really trying to to I guess you can say he's trying to serenade Miss Keke Palmer to the point where he's going to take her home that night. Let me see. Now this is a different angle. This is the same night, same clip, but it's a different angle. And let me just play a quick little clip of this so you can see what I'm talking about here. Now, what I want to focus on is, if you look, did you look at Usher? And I think the first topic to discuss is, how would you feel even if this person is a singer is singing like that to your woman or your wife while she's dressed scantily clad? That's the first question.
Well, that was like 6 questions into one, because one, you got to realize that she was dressed scantily clad. She had her ass cheeks damn near out, basically. You know what I mean? And he's looking at that ass right now. See how he looking at it? He looking at it like, shit, I knocked that down, you know.
Absolutely.
Now, let me be clear. You know, I'm not one of them dudes who, how can I put it? I'm not one of them dudes who I'm not a jealous dude. You know what I mean? You know. But so if we were somewhere and Usher or some singer that I knew, you know, my wife liked or something like that, or my girlfriend liked or something like that, and they came up and they sung to him, I wouldn't mind that. But my girl out with her ass cheeks out like they are, Usher on them like they are now, you know, she grinding on him like I've seen other videos and other clips that she did, you know what I mean? Of course, I would have a problem with it, no doubt, but I wouldn't have a problem with Usher. You know what I mean? You know, I wouldn't. You know, I would have to have a problem with her. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, it would be a decision made, a split decision made. You know what I mean? If there's something I'm going to stand for, or is it something that I'm not? You know, and that's that part.
Okay. So once her boyfriend saw this video, he went to Twitter, and I guess this will be another kind of topic to discuss. And I know a lot of people were critical of Mr. Darius Daulton for going on Twitter. And in most instances, I agree that, you know, we just talked about this with the YouTube stuff. We want to keep stuff off the internet, and we don't really want to publicize what's going on behind the scenes. But I have to say, as a man that just had a child with this woman, they've been in a relationship for 2 years. It looks like this is a serious relationship. She's not just a jump off to him. I could feel his frustration 1000%. And he tweeted, "It's the outfit, though. You a mom." A lot of people were like, he shouldn't have went to Twitter. But my guess is that they've been having a couple of bumps in the road for the last several weeks. This is not the first bump in the road. And this is last straw, and he's basically saying, you're gonna publicly humiliate me like that with that video? Well, I'm gonna publicly tweet, where I would say don't do it in most instances, but I could feel his passion for the reason why he did it this time.
No, I could feel his passion based on if that's what kind of, you know, chemical makeup he have. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to take off the you a mom part. You know what I mean? Because I'm for, you know, moms still looking sexy, and some moms are still young and can go out there and, you know, still look good and dress well and be fine. So I'm going to take off the mom, though. You know what I mean? It's the outfit, though. You know what I mean? You know. I could see why he felt like how he felt, you know what I mean? You know, because he basically was humiliated and embarrassed, bro. You know what I mean? You know, she basically went out there and was basically like, dude, ain't shit to me, because this is how I'm gonna get out here and carry mom. Ass cheeks out, rubbing on another man, you know, blah, 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 being serenaded by another man. You know, don't get me wrong, that is Usher. You know, he done serenaded many of dudes, you know, girlfriends and wives and shit, you know, but at the same time, that's what he do. But for Darius Daulton, and you in a situation like this, man, I don't know what he does, Alex. I don't know what his financial status is, but I don't believe it's equally yoked as hers. You know what I mean? And I remember one time back in the day, you know, and I was talking shit to my wife, and she said, well, why you can do this? And I told her, don't forget the golden rule. he who has the goal makes the rule. You know what I mean? And she started laughing. She was like, all right. But in this situation, you know, if she's more wealthy than him, she's more successful than him. You know what I mean? And she carries the relationship financially. Not saying that he don't have money, but maybe he don't have her kind of money. You know what I mean? She's an actor. She's a star. You know, that's a bad combination. You know what I mean? It makes it easy for her to disrespect him, and he's supposed to, you know, take it on the chin. When I don't care who you dating as a man, if you got morals and standards for who you are, I don't care if I was dating whoever. You know, you disrespect me, it's a rap. Baby mama, not whatever or not, you know. So, you know, that's a decision he should have made and not took it to Twitter and just straight up said, well, you know, we're going to be done with this relationship based on the disrespect and moved on. He never had to take it to Twitter. He could have just, you know, acted upon it, you know what I mean, and kept walking. But if had he just put it's the outfit though, you know, I could still feel him on that 100%.
Well, I feel him on the mom part more than the outfit part, because we all know chicks are going to wear these outfits, but most of the time, moms don't wear these outfits because moms are usually, I would say, good moms, responsible moms are usually setting an example for their kids or their son or daughters. And this is not a good look for your kid to look at. This is going to be on the internet forever. And their kid got to go to school saying, yeah, your mama was shaking that thing in front of Usher when she was with your daddy. You know, that's just embarrassing to the kid, as the kid has to deal with this all the time. So I was with both parts of the tweet, but I wanted to address the part you said about money. I feel like a man should still be able to be a man in his house, regardless if the woman makes more money or less. I actually believe that the amount of money that the woman makes should be irrelevant to allowing a man to set boundaries and rules in his home. I don't think he should be relinquish his masculine authority because he makes less money than the woman, because that kind of emasculates the man from his true duty, his true role as a father figure, and as I know they're not married, I was going to say a husband, but if should they be married, it takes away from his role as a husband, a leader, and a protector. His salary doesn't determine that. It just so happens he's with an actress. Of course, her salary is going to supersede his, unless he's in the same career, and he's not. So I don't think his lack of income should relinquish his position as a man in that household.
No, I'm 100% with you on that, but that's why she don't date me or you. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of females go out there and they find this dude who's nice and sweet and lovable and, you know, and understanding, and, you know what I mean? And things of this nature. You know, it's a lot of women stay away from guys like us, Alex. You know what I mean? Because we do have standards and rules and you know, not that we overbearing or nothing, but, you know, it's an expectation that I have of what, you know, how I'm going to be represented, you know what I mean? And but they know this from the gate, you know, it's certain things that, you know, in any relationship we ever been in, and it's going to be standards. Females have those same standards too, a lot of times, you know what I mean? Okay, well, if he do this, that's a wrap. You know, some of these dudes, though, like you say, and it ain't even just with the money thing. Some of these dudes are getting with these girls because they fine, because they this and that, and they lower their standards, or they never had standards like that in the first place. They never said, if you do this, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? And she gonna know that. You know what I mean? So, you know, like I say, I don't knock her as a mom for being, you know, hanging out, having a good time. I just don't, you know what I mean? Even in the outfit, I'm saying she disrespected her dude, you know, to the point to where, like I say, he got to make a decision, you know, and his decision should have been made before he tweeted anything. His decision should have been made. Now she done double backed on his ass. And how you feel about this one now?
Oh, she's gonna rub it in. She's rubbing it in, and she's something else, man. Let me play this little video because this is her little response. And here, let me play it. I'm about to link up. I'm about to link up. I'm about to link up. If you gon' act up, I'm about to link up. Link up. I'm about to link up. You ain't stop. You ain't stopping nothing. And the first thing I want to say is how is she so prepared with a cute video, well edited, her makeup all hooked up? She got her lyrics. She's already got bars. A day later, how is she this ready to respond with such a artistically put together video that would take the normal person several days to come up with? is this just part of a plot, man, to get us talking about them and for us to just end up going to whatever products and things that they're doing, or is this a serious conflict that's going on in the Palmer household?
I don't think it's a conflict. I think if it got to this situation, for even the way she, like I say, dissed him that night, she probably, you got to understand and realize how women do things, Alex. They don't just leave, bro. You know what I mean? They be done left you, 4, 5, 6 months before they make the decision to even start giving you hints. You know what I mean? We different. We'll snap our finger and be like, it's over, I'm done. No, they don't do it like that. They're going to make sure that they done with. They're going to do all they due diligence about what's going on with this dude. So she probably been like, I'm over this cat. Yeah, we had a child, yeah, it was cool, but this ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? So the night she went out that night, it could have been over for a few months already in her head. As soon as he said one thing, bro, it was a wrap for you. You know what I mean? Now I want to see it, bro, you can't come back from this. When I say you can't come back, you supposed to be like, it's a wrap. Okay, it's over with. Ain't nothing else to be said. We'll do our parent thing, you know what I mean, and keep it on that level. But at the same time, if I see him, walking hand in hand with him 2 weeks from now, you know what I mean, then I'm gonna have a certain, hey, that's his prerogative. If that's what he want to do, run up behind her like a puppy and chase her and shit, that's on him. But at the same time, homie, you can't get out there and get at me like that, homie, and it's gonna be cool. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel about that part.
The reason why I was wondering if this is just sort of some play is because Keke Palmer got these sweatshirts that are available on her website like the next day, a couple of days later, called "I'm a Mother." So this could clearly be a true conflict, and any business person would do is try to take advantage of it. But is this a publicity stunt just to sell more products and get more people talking about her?
I just don't think it's a stunt. I think he feel like how he actually feel. What's his next play gonna be on him? If his next play ain't gonna be nothing, he shouldn't have never said nothing out the gate. He should have left it alone all the way around. You know what I mean? Because he done already made up in her mind, no matter what she do, I'm gonna be with her. I love her. That's my baby mama. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. So he shouldn't have said nothing. But hey.
Well, this is a tweet that he posted a few days ago where he said, "We live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother to his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe." And, I'm going to have to agree with him wholeheartedly. 100%.
No, I agree with his statement. You know what I mean? I agree with his statement, but I'm going to check out his actions. You know what I mean? And if he feel disrespectful, no matter what it was, you know what I mean? No matter what it was, if he feel disrespected, bro, that's how he feel, and I can't change the way how he feel. But like I say, don't shoot these shots, bro. And then, you ain't standing on it. That's my whole point. If he not going to stand on what he talking about, because it's just already done. And she double back on another video and say, nigga, you ain't talking about shit. You know what I mean? You can get on, you know what I mean? So if he ain't gonna stand on what he talking about, you know what I mean? Don't put nothing, but that statement, that last statement he made, man, I agree with him 100%.
Now, I wanted to respond to something you said about a lot of women don't like men like us. They don't date men like us. I would actually say that the young women, when they're in their 20s, they don't really take a relationship seriously. So men like us they probably avoid men like us the most. But once they get into their 30s and they're pushing 40, they start saying, damn, I want a husband. Damn, I want a family. Or after they've already had 2 baby daddies and they're not with those guys, now all of a sudden they want a husband. And to me, at that point, it's a little too late, because you had the opportunity when you was 22, 23, 25, 27, 28 to get a man like us, a man that wanted to marry you and have a family. Because you know how many women put these guys in the friend zone, but then when they're 35, 37, 38, they're like, damn, I do want a guy like FG. I do want a guy like Alex. I do need a husband. And I feel like at this point it's too late. So Keke Palmer's young. She's still in her late 20s. She better think twice before she makes a decision, because if she ends up leaving this dude, she's ruining her family. and then eventually she's gonna want what she had when she's like 37, when nobody wants to give it to her. So I think that's a little lesson for a lot of ladies to hopefully soak in.
I don't know, Alex. I gotta disagree with you on that one, man. Because some of these females, let's be honest with you, some of them, back in the day, homie, was some hoes like them. They was straight up hoes, homie. And right now, homie, they got the husband, the white picket fence, the 2 kids and the dog, and you know what I mean. And it didn't matter to the dude that they married. He loved her. He knew her background. He knew the whole thing. Keke Palmer still young, homie. She's still young enough to where, with 1 kid, yeah, she might be breaking up her family, but at the same time, if she just wanted to have you got to realize some of these new women or should not even old. They just want a baby by who they want a baby with because of the genetic situation purposes. You know what I mean? He's a good dude internally, and a good-hearted dude, easy on the eyes. I don't know what this cat look like, but easy on the eyes, and that's what these women are doing, and they can go on and walk off with their baby, or share parental duties, but they got what they want, the baby. And in actuality, though, Alex, with 1 kid, you would be surprised at how many men, will take a woman with 1 kid easily. You know what I mean? Like very easily. When you get to talking about the 2 and 3 baby daddies, that's a whole different subject. But at this point, I believe Keke Palmer is that she ain't in no danger to not finding what she want in life. She's still young, Alex. She probably don't even really know what she exactly want in life. But until she find that one dude that's gonna lock her down and make her respect everything that he talking about, that's a different situation.
No, man, I think Keke's on a time clock. She better be careful. Maybe them hoes on the east side of Compton and Long Beach be getting wifed up. But the hoes on my side of town, I don't know too many of them that got wifed up, man. So I think that Keke is gonna end up in that category. How many fine celebrity chicks can we sit here and say that are single? Like Tracy Ellis Ross is one of the baddest sisters. She ain't got no man. Nobody ever found her worthy enough to marry. We can name Halle Berry. Every man that Halle Berry's ever been with backslapped her and went the other way. So
you got a point.
Keke got to be careful. Look, Keke got her light-skinned mixed dude that she's been wanting her whole life.
Right, that's why I say I hadn't even seen the dude, but now that I see him, I see, okay, she looked at everything and said, I want a baby by this cat. But at the same time, Alex, some people do make mistakes. She could be making a mistake, by just because this dude, love her and don't want her to be on stage with her ass cheeks out, you disrespecting a dude that probably genuinely love you. You know what I mean? And that happens so often, then you're going to mess with a dude who really don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? So it's a fine line, like I say, at that age, and you're right. These women, a lot of these women aren't looking at how many successful women are out here single, can't get a man or can't get the man they want. You know what I mean? Because they waited too long, didn't lock nothing down and things of that nature, So like I say, I'm not here to get nobody relationship advice, but at the same time, I'm gonna tell dude that you've been disrespected, bro, publicly. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, he got a decision to make. Is he gonna stand on it or is he gonna try to make his relationship work? Me, I feel if she disrespected you like this once, bro, publicly like this, then double down with another video, it might not be looking too good for you. You maybe just need to move on and go on about your life, and hey, it's I do believe it's a whole lot easier for men to find good women than it is a woman to find a good man. You know what I mean?
Oh, without a doubt, man. Shoot, when I got married, I had like 5 choices at the time. It's not a problem for men to find women. I think this Keke need to come to her senses, but all in this celebrity world, in this industry world, relationships quite don't follow the same rules as they do outside the industry. And some people think it was a play on his part that he met her at a club somewhere and at an event and just stepped to her and decided, hey, I'm gonna pursue this woman because she's a well-known actress, and maybe this is an opportunity for me to attach myself onto some legacy. But if that's the case, he wouldn't be complaining on Twitter. If he just saw Keke right as an opportunity, he wouldn't be complaining on Twitter.
Well, you got to understand and realize, Alice, by this point they got a child. You know what I mean? And it's probably his first child. You know what I mean? And when a man have his first child, man, you know, he feel a whole lot of ways about what he feel a woman shouldn't be doing. He'll go to the strip club all day long, but don't want to see his woman in one. He'll go to the mall and look at females in tight ass jeans all day long, but don't want his baby mama to dress like that. You know what I mean? That first child, man, you know, can change a dude, bro. I get that just based on because I'm 50 now. I get it. You know, so he probably really wants his family to be a family, really wants his child to have a mother and father, you know, and don't want to see his baby mama out there thought like that, you know, on stage in public, you know, in front of the world, you know. That's not hard for me to understand what he's getting at. What I'm saying is she done double down on a video. She telling you gonna get in line or you gonna get out of line. You know what I mean? And at this point, I feel that he should get out of line, you know what I mean, and do him and co-parent, you know what I mean, and going about his life. No matter who she is, man, you gotta have standards in your life because guess what? It ain't gonna stop here. What's gonna happen is he gonna turn into the nanny while she, you know, doing tours and say if she gets, you know, she's gonna get some more acting opportunities, you know what I mean? So she's gonna be jet set. You're gonna be at home with the baby, bro. You know what I mean? Being the nanny, you know what I mean? And you ain't gonna know what she out there doing. And then it's just gonna come to a point to where the ultimate disrespect just is gonna be there because you're not standing on no morals or no ground on nothing. You know, so you know, that's how I feel about that situation, you know.
Yeah, he's going to definitely have to sit her down and say, these are my rules, these are my boundaries, these are the parameters, and if you can't operate within them, then we're going to have to just co-parent from two different homes then. And he needs to stand on that. And they could do that privately. They don't need to come on Twitter. They can go to counseling, get the counseling they need, and she needs to respect his rules. And if she doesn't want to respect them, then they need to part ways. Simple as that. Part ways.
No doubt.
Okay, we're running out of time here, but I just wanted to squeeze in this last story. Man, we could talk about that. And there's like so many multiple subtopics to that situation that we could spend a whole hour on that. But I wanted to just talk about the Charles Manson killer, Leslie Van Houten, who was just released from prison after serving 50, I believe it's 50
plus.
Well, I'd say it was 69 when they went to jail. So yeah, what's that? 53 years ago. This happened before both of us was even born. But let me just play this quick clip and maybe we could talk about it.
More than 50 years after the Manson family's murderous rampage, one of the group's followers is heading for parole. In a surprise announcement, Governor Newsom's office will not challenge an appeals court ruling that clears the way for Leslie Van Houten's release, saying any appeal will likely be unsuccessful. Van Houten was 19 years old when she followed the direction of cult leader Charles Manson in 1969. Now in her 70s, she is serving a life sentence for taking part in the killings of Leno and Rosemary Labianca in their Los Feliz home. Now, Newsom has rejected parole grants for Van Houten several times, but his most recent denial was overturned by a state appeals court panel in May. Right now, it's unclear when Van Houten will be released from custody.
Okay.
And more breaking news.
That was 53 years ago, and I mean 54 years ago actually. And some people say she should have never got out because those Charles Manson murders were pretty brutal. In total, I believe 7 or 8 people were killed, and Leslie was responsible for 2 of them. She stabbed Rosemary Labianca 16 times in her back in 1969, and she's a free woman now. Was justice served?
Yeah, justice was served, bro.
No hesitation there. She did her time, right? She did 50 years. What else do you want her to do?
I mean, right, Alice, but let me be clear. You know, she was 19 years old, bro. You know, we all agree that the brain don't fully develop till you 25. They were in the code, probably doing a bunch of drugs back then, man. You know, and the thing about it, she got caught up in something that, you know, a wheel that she couldn't get out of, and she was with it. You know what I mean? As we all were at 19 years old. You know what I mean? Now let's go back even before then. How many homies you got? I can name 5 of them right now that, you know, got that YA life, got that murder at 15, 16 back in the day. They used to give you that YA life. You go do 7, 8 years, you come home, Alex. And I know I got 5 homies I know that then went and did that and came home because they were so young, man. They wasn't just all the way in tune with their brain, with their mind, you know. And this lady did 50 years, homie. In there, she got a bachelor's degree. She got a master's degree. Every single program that they asked her to take, she took. You know what I mean? Every bit of rehabilitation that they can come across, bro. She did. You know what I mean? Now, has she been 30 when she did it? Has she been 40 when she did it? You know, I'm taking age into consideration. She was 19 years old. Person at 19 ain't the same as 50, man. I was a damn fool at 19 years old. You couldn't, man, ask anybody to know me. You know, happy to still be here to this day from some shit I was doing at 19. And for her to go do 50 years, bro, they need to crack that door open for her. Now, don't get me wrong. The people that she killed, they'll never come back. You know, so I understand the hurt from the family, but also, man, at this age, I got to take into consideration, man, she was a 19-year-old kid, man. I got an 18-year-old daughter, a 20-year-old son, man. These young adults, but they kids, bro. You know what I mean? And I don't believe that she shouldn't get out. I believe that they should crack that door open, man, and let her go on about her life.
Yeah, definitely. She's done over 50 years in prison. She was a teenager when she went in, and most experts agree with the release. There was a prosecutor he wasn't the prosecutor in this case, but I heard a prosecutor saying that a lot of people in California are going to be disappointed with her release. And I was sitting there saying, I don't think a lot of people are going to be upset. There might be some. I understand that there's some very conservative people that are far right that believe that some people like her and people who commit crimes like that should never get out. But you can't keep someone in prison forever, you know, until they die. And, you know, in most instances. And she was 19. She did 53 years. She's in her 70s right now. And she is not a threat to society. So I don't have a problem with it. And I think we're just going to have to accept that. This is good, too, because it lets us know that other people are coming home also who did crazy crimes between the ages of 18 and 24 before our frontal lobe was fully developed in our brain. And that means that they got a chance of coming home, too, one day.
No doubt. But at the same time, the thing about it was if you're if you've shown, like, look, they've analyzed this woman time and time again. You know what I mean? They know if she's ready or not. You know what I mean? She's been approved to get out. The parole board didn't approve her to come home like 4 or 5 times already. It's been the governor who's been shutting her down. You know, so they've been said that this woman, you know, is mentally healthy enough to be let out in the street. They don't just let you out just because of the years. They're not going to do that. If you still not mentally, you know, don't seem mentally capable of coming out here and handling the life, you know what I mean? You know, life on the street, they won't let you out. But in her situation, Alice, they believe that she was, rehabilitated. You know, and like I say, she went on to get a bachelor's degree. She went on and got a master's degree. You know, so her brain still is working. I mean, you know, she haven't lost it or nothing like that. So in that situation, you know, you gotta let these people out, man. Let them come live. And you know, they took responsibility for their crime. You know, even though it was a murder, but man, she was very young and impressionable back then.
Yeah, if the CDC had already said she was eligible for release 5 different times ago, she's not going to be able to fool the CDC on 5 different parole board hearings. She's not going to trick them into something that she's not. She's not going to outwit and outsmart the California parole boards 5 different times. So this is a woman in her 70s. Yes, it was terrible what she did back in 1969. But what do you want to do? What do you want her to do? Another 50 years in prison? It's just at some point you got to let people come home. That's why it's called the CDCR, rehabilitation. And if anybody should be the poster child for rehabilitation for all the things that this woman has done in prison during this last 50 years, she has certainly met that criteria of rehabilitation. And everybody who is close to her and who knows her says that she has been fit for release for many times. So I don't even think it should be an issue that she's released. But I know that the Charles Manson stigma, it's something about just the Charles Manson connection that people just can't forgive. It's like because there was 7 murders that happened all at 2 different places, and people just can't let go of this Charles Manson thing. We all knew Charles Manson was never going to come home.
Right. We know that, yeah.
But the people that were following them, you know, that's a different situation.
No doubt. You know, Charles wasn't coming home, and he never seemed rehabilitated though. He was a damn fool up until he was a damn fool up until the day he laid it down. You know, so You know, it's a whole separate situation, man. But like you say, you know, young women, young people, you know, how many young homies you done seen around the hood following the big homies doing some stupid shit and end up getting 6-7 years because basically you followed the big homie. You know what I mean? Man, that shit been going on forever. And they knew that you was manipulated by the big homie in order to do the situation. No, you didn't tell, but they knew. You know what I mean? You know, you went and did your time and things of that nature, but they knew this dude led you right down the wrong path. This situation ain't no different. She did commit that crime herself, you know, but at the same time, man, you don't, a lot of people don't understand that, you know, at 19 years old, when you involved in anything, you impressionable, you know. So like I say, I mean, I don't know the families or the victims or nothing like that, but I know they hate to see it. But I mean, she did 50, man, plus, you know, so.
Yeah, there's nothing more we could ask of her, man. Hey, we're on Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeart. So we're available on all those platforms for those who aren't following us on the podcast platforms. And FG, man, where can they tap in with you on your social media?
Man, on Instagram, man, I'm on F General 1 at Instagram, and then on YouTube. Come over there, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that like button on FG Unleashed on YouTube.
And forgive me for not shouting out that person that asked us that question about the safety valve. I'll shout you out on the next episode. My bads. And send us questions. You could leave us a question on the Apple Podcast site where you could leave a comment and review. You can hit up the Instagram at street.and.scholars. And I'm at Alex Alonso 101 on Twitter and Instagram. Hit me up there. StreetTV on YouTube. And thanks for listening to another fire episode of Streets and Scholars. I know you gotta probably head up out of here in a minute or so.
Yeah, I didn't have my comments on, so I didn't see none of these comments.
Oh, that's usually good because then you don't get distracted by it.
Yeah. Because usually I do a little bit because I'll be over there reading, but I just looked up and I'm like, damn, I didn't have my comments on and shit. It's quite a few people came in today.
Someone said that
I see quite a few.
That Charles Manson was a big drug dealer for a lot of famous celebrities. Hey, actually, you know what? He did used to, he was on the LSD. So maybe he did provide LSD. Yeah, he was tied into some of the celebrities because he had a band. He was a musician.
Oh,
so
was
he? Yeah,
no, I
he
didn't
was
know
tied in.
about that.
Yeah, he could play the guitar and sing and all that.
DP, what's happening? Trey, what's up, homie? Trey Cole. Yeah, I didn't see none of these comments.
Don Z says leave her in prison forever and throw away the key.
Hey, a lot of people gonna feel like that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, man, if you for anything about rehabilitation, you know, because if he was in there, he would want some action, you know what I mean? Just to be honest with you, shit, nobody want to sit in there for the rest of their life, man, on a mistake they made when they was 19. That's just real, homie. Not 19. You know, you was a kid, man. Or she was a kid.
Yeah, she was a youngster. But people ain't never gonna forgive that little Charles Manson little thing he had going on.
Yes, Slick gonna say, come on, man, let her do her thing. She gonna go back home and put it on him, you know, and just have fun. But it's a difference. It's a thin line between fun and disrespect, homie. You know what I mean? You know, we think like that now. Going dress sexy, going out there. I know you coming home. You know what I mean? Shit. But at that age, nah, man, he ain't feeling that shit.
Charles Manson was a tool to break up the peace and love hippie movement. Well, it
shit,
didn't work.
He definitely did. Man, he definitely put that work in, though, man. I mean, what tripped him? Now, was he on an LSD trip? Let me ask you this also. Those 7 murders, how far apart were they in time?
They were the same night.
It was 5 a weekend murders. Type shit?
Yeah, it was 5 murders in one house and 2 murders in another house. So, and he didn't put hands on any of those 7 victims. He just told them what to do. Tex Watson was another one involved. I think Tex Watson is still in prison, unless he passed.
Yeah. A lot of people got stuff to say about Keke Palmer, man. What you was trying to say, Alec?
Tex Watson is 77. He's 77 years old, and he is still in. Is Tex Watson? Tex Watson was doing a lot of the killings for Manson also. I wonder if he's still in prison. Yeah,
how many people got convicted on that?
About 5, I believe.
Oh, okay.
He got convicted. He was actually sentenced to death, Tex Watson, but he got it commuted to life in prison. And he's in Donovan right now, Tex Watson. So he's still in there.
Damn.
Yeah. What they said about Keke?
All kind of shit. You got some people saying, you know, she better be careful for dude get a big child support check from her. I don't know her financial status though. I don't know if she got that much money. You know what I mean? But she's nowadays they will give a baby daddy a child support though. They will do that.
Yeah, he if he decides to leave her, he's probably going to be one of those dudes that's going to go to court and get some money from her because he don't really got much going on. Oh, Tex Watson had 5 kids in prison. Hey, did you have a child while you were incarcerated? Did you get your wife pregnant?
Shit, I had 3 kids while I was incarcerated.
Yeah, so it's not that uncommon.
My first 2 sons in 93, I was in the state pen when they was born. I don't think they knew that up until you know, some years back.
And then I knew Geronimo Pratt had a couple kids while he was doing state time. You know, because he did 27 straight years. He's got kids that are younger than 27. So do the math. he had
oh shit! I done seen that a few times. Yeah, I done seen that conjugal visit, baby, a whole lot of time. Homie had a baby conjugal visit when she was bringing the baby. The lady, they was like, "Who baby is that?" They was like, "Oh, this my niece." You know. Or some dudes was looking like, man, your girl got pregnant while you was in here, man. And you still letting her visit? You know, hey man, shut up, mind your business.
Hey, I knew this dude that told me that he ended up stealing the girlfriend from one of his inmate partners that she was visiting him, and then eventually he somehow in the visiting room, he shot his shot. And then she ended up not only being with him, but he got a baby by the other dude. I think that's crazy. Where a woman is visiting one guy in prison and ends up linking up with another dude in that same prison.
Alex, I seen that shit personally, bro, like a few times, not just one time, a few times. I mean, prison be cracking. But this is the thing about it. You have certain women who like messing with dudes in prison. It's a thing they genuinely like to do. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, and I'm not knocking them. Cool, you know, you gotta love them. You know, to be honest with you, if you in there, you gotta love them. And I done seen so many dudes steal other dudes' bras in from prison, in prison. Oh man, it's a cold thing, man. I done seen that. You know, cause this how they do it, Alex. You know what I mean? So say if my sister come to visit me, you know what I mean, and I see a dude girl over there looking and bam, bam, bam. Tell my sister if y'all leave at the same time, say ask old girl what's happening. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, old girl write me, right? And we in different units though. So you know, and that's how the shit be going down, man. It be crazy. I just seen a lot of that shit happen, man. I'm talking about a lot of that shit.
So does the first dude eventually just concede it because that's just the way it goes in the visiting room, or can it be a problem on the yard?
If it's known it's a problem, you know, if you playing the G, it ain't no problem at the moment. But what end up happening is you know, sometimes a lot of dudes get transfers. You know, they go into different facilities and this or that or the other. You know what I mean? So it's easy for her when they separate facilities. You know what I mean? So now she can really do her thing. She can come up to the prison and visit you, or if you go to another spot, she can come fly out there or drive up there where you at now and visit you. Oh man, it's a cold game, man. It's a cold game. And then you got to realize, Alex, like say for a dude like me, you know, I've been sitting in the visiting room, homie, and seen 3 or 4 of my exes come through, you know, from years ago and visit dudes, and they like, damn, did like look like they didn't even know I was here, you know what I mean? And I've gotten a letter, and it wasn't on no romantic type shit, but you know what I mean? Damn, bro, just checking on you, seeing how you doing. You know, I see you, you know, you getting visit your kids or whatever, you know, and it wasn't like nothing negative, but just on some, you know what I mean? You know, just saying, keep your head up type shit. You know what I mean? You know, so just imagine though, if I still was like on some, nah, baby, what's happening? You know what I mean? So it could be innocent. It could start off innocent and be something else, you know?
Yeah, that's wild. What's going on in that visiting room?
Man, you wouldn't have no idea, bro. You wouldn't have no idea.
Hey, someone said, are we going to do a podcast on Richard Ramirez? Hey, when I was a kid in 1985, I used to see Richard Ramirez on the streets. I used to see this
No
dude.
shit.
Yeah, I used to see Richard Ramirez all the time walking the streets over in the Mid-Wilshire area. I used to live off of Wilshire and Western, and he used to be walking around that neighborhood. He was, he's the type of guy you never forget that face. And he was panhandling. He was just asking for money. Next thing I knew, I see the dude on TV. He was the serial killer. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, somebody say Ohio and Indiana have man-made beaches. Yeah, I'm sure they do, but we talking about that ocean, man. We talking about that Atlantic or that Pacific Ocean.
Oh, yeah,
somebody
man.
in here put FG don't like Mexicans. Come on, man, knock it off, man. Y'all only knew. You know what I mean? Shit, I got 100 Mexicans that'll vouch for me. Say, man, F shit, don't do that, man. Knock it off.
Especially over there on that Linwood side.
No doubt. Shit, all up and down the crayons and shit. Knew every Mexican over there, and they gonna say shit, we was cool. But yeah, Alex, I got to get up out of here, man. I appreciate the listeners for tapping in. I didn't get to read them comments, man, because I was talking. But yeah, I appreciate y'all leaving comments, man, and thanks for tapping in.
Definitely. We're gonna wrap it up right here. And if you didn't get to watch or listen from the beginning, make sure you do so. I'm gonna put some chapter markers throughout the video as well. And we out.